Hey, have you heard the news?
I'm gonna be in Spider-Man 3!
You're gonna be in Spider-Man 3. Everybody's gonna be in this. You know what? Let's put big wheel and slide in this.
Just try and catch me, Spider-Man. That's right, you cannot, because I covered myself in oil.
So, no doubt you've heard of the cast of Spider-Man Home Run? Homesick? Sweet Home Alabama? Let's just call it Spider-Man 3. Is mad. The cast is, as it's reported, around about the same size as something like the Avengers. And this worries me. Not all the cast, of course, like Tom Holland, Zendaya, Melissa Tomei, Jacob Batalon, and whoever else is returning from the previous films, because, well, no duh. And as reported, Charlie Cox, who may return as Daredevil in this film if the rumours are true, is probably the best choice for the film, to be honest, because not only is Daredevil one of my favourite superheroes and TV shows, but also, if I'm being entirely honest, Daredevil would make a better father figure than Iron Man. Don't get me wrong, Tony and Peter's relationship was great, but Daredevil would have made more sense. They just have a lot more to compare and contrast with. Just don't make Daredevil a quip shouting smartass. But then we get to the rest of the cast, which does not look like the best idea to me. I could be wrong, but still, it's not giving me much hope. First, the elephant in the room. The Spider-Men!
I found you, faker!
I'm fine with, like, the previous two Spider-Men having a cameo or playing different roles. Like, Tobey Maguire was rumoured to play Uncle Ben back in the day, and I think Andrew Garfield would make a pretty good Human Torch. But I don't know if both of them returning as Peter Parker is a good idea. Like, surely they would like to move on from Spider-Man, right? Move on to different and better things. If not, that's fine, but we've already have a Spider-Verse movie and another one coming soon. Put them in that! We already have a lot of people in this film, and I don't know if they can fit a whole subplot of different universes in it, as well as Spider-Man on the Run, the Sinister Six, Daredevil, and setting up the next phase of the MCU, which no doubt is going to have Doctor Doom be the main villain.
Oh, and about the MCU.
Venom. Goddamn Venom. We can't fit Venom in this. The suit saga has to be at least about 2 films. One about the suit itself and setting up Eddie Brock and setting up how bad the suit is, ending the film off with Spider-Man removing the suit. And then another one about Venom himself. And if you need to, if you absolutely need to, one about Carnage.
Not Venom showing up out of nowhere.
And don't get me started on the SUOMC, great name Sony, and the MCU being connected in some way. The Defenders are barely connected, but this is son of a
language.
Like, it's way too late to put Venom in this if this Venom film is even canon to the MCU, which is a complicated matter in itself, which I'm not going to get into. Like, what, is Venom just going to jump off Eddie, jump onto Peter? Peter going to be like, me no like, and Venom jump off and jump back onto Eddie, and then they just don't like him? Yeah, way better than before. I hate this. Just stop. Don't do this. And then we have the returning villains from the Sam Raimi trilogy and the not so amazing movies. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Too kind.
Get on with it!
Like, Alfred Molina is returning as Dr. Octopus. Jamie Foxx is back as Electro. It's not confirmed, but Willem Dafoe and Dean DeHaan, oh no, may come back as Norman and Harry Osborn. Thomas Hayden Church may come back as Flint Marko. And not to mention villains from previous movies like Michael Keaton as the Vulture, Bokeem Woodbine as Shocker, Michael Mando as Scorpion.
Please! I beg you!
Jake Gyllenhaal, maybe if Mysterio isn't dead. And how could I forget Will Smith as Slide?
And stop staring at me with them big old eyes!
Side note, I would unironically love that. So this casting choice is not as infuriating as Venom, but it is odd. With getting these actors back as these villains from, previous films and previous universes, it kinda can't be the same villains because, wow, Spider-Man really did just kill a lot.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, and also, I don't want to let that same Electro back, please. So it's more likely a J.K. Simmons situation. But the difference with Simmons is nobody else could have really played J. Jonah Jameson except Simmons and maybe Stan Lee. But Simmons basically made J. Jonah Jameson's voice and appearance and mannerisms on his own with his own, acting. And also, J. Jonah Jameson isn't really an important character in the grand scope of the MCU, so yeah, you can put a little bit of fan service there. There's no harm in a little bit of fan service. So I do have to ask, what's the point in bringing these old actors back to return as these villains? I don't really remember anybody asking for this, except maybe toxic fans who have their nostalgia goggles on a bit too tight, so their eyes are popping out. They're going to comment on this video on it. God, couldn't you have gotten different talent to play these, iconic characters like Christopher Waltz? Aaron Paul and Bryan Cranston would have made a great Doc Ock, Electro and Goblin respectively. Mind you, I'm not saying the old actors were bad. Alfred Molina was great as Dr. Octopus. Jamie Foxx was, great in Django Unchained. And Willem Dafoe was amazing as Norman Osborn and Green Goblin. But I feel my point still stands here. Also, did nobody learn anything from Spider-Man 3 and The Amazing Spider-Man 2? If you can't handle a plot with multiple villains, don't do a plot with multiple villains. Simple as. Now there's more, but I either don't have much of an opinion on them, or they're unlikely even by this video's standards. Although as a Spider-Pool movie would be pretty cool. Now I want you to understand, I'm not making this video because I hate the old films, or I hate these new films, or I hate these old actors, because I don't. I love almost all of these films, and there is a very, very special place in my heart for the actors from the first trilogy. Hell, even Spider-Man 3 has one of my favourite scenes in anything ever. I love the old actors, and I love this current trilogy of Spider-Man. Or quadrilogy, I don't know, the MCU's getting confusing. I just don't think this film can handle all these different cast members with different characters and subplots that can come from it. This feels like it's going to be the film equivalent of shaking a can of Coke and then it's just being popped off. The lid just popping off. Your clothes are sticky and you look like you wet yourself. But I could be wrong. I would love to be wrong, especially for a trilogy that has been great so far. I just wanted to give my opinion on it. And now I want your opinion on this. Didn't really roll off the tongue really well. Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? Do you want to call me a dumb kid who doesn't get it because I don't think Sam Raimi's trilogy is the best thing to ever grace the earth? Or do you think Slide should be the next big bad instead of Doctor Doom or Galactus, because Galactus shouldn't be the big bad?
I used to only think I could cover myself in oil, but with this, I could cover the whole universe in oil. Avengers covered in oil. Let me know in the comments below. Why did I do that? And of course, if you like it, like it. If you didn't like it, dislike it.
If you'll be so kind, please share it with a friend, maybe, hopefully, please. I beg of you. And if you like some of the other stuff, please subscribe. I'm very lonely. Okay, that's it. Bye.
A Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Spins a web in.
My name is Gwen Stacy. I was bitten by a radioactive